Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633 and today I'm bringing a review of the Star Wars The Force Awakens 6-inch Black Series Snowtrooper Officer. Now this release of the Snowtrooper is a Toysrus exclusive, so the only way to get a hold of this variant of the Snowtrooper is from Toysrus. Now being the First Order version of the Snowtrooper, as you can already tell, the design is quite different than the standard Snowtroopers, and in some cases, personally, I think this design works a lot better than the old version. Now, I know the old version has its own share of nostalgia, and it was pretty good for what it was. But overall, I still think I really like the design of this Snowtrooper. Anyways, we'll take a look at the box. It's just in the standard Black Series 6-inch box. There's no variations in terms of Toys R Us exclusive logos or anything else. The only difference is that on the side, it no longer has a number. So this is the only one in that technical series, and it's pretty much in its own DPCI and so on, if I remember correctly. On the back it shows the typical bio for the Snowtrooper, and that's pretty much it. We'll now go on to the Snowtrooper itself. Now the Snowtrooper has some pretty cool features, which obviously it does feature the shoulder armor piece, which won't be included with the standard release, obviously. And unfortunately, though, is that this causes some hindrance to the head articulation. As you can see, normally it's still on the ball joint design, but it does drastically hinder the head articulation, so there isn't a whole lot of movement you can get all around. For some reason, it doesn't move that well that side, but it moves a lot better in that direction. I have no idea why. His shoulders have full range of movement, except they are extremely tight, and it does have that technical type of joint where it kind of slides just a bit, so you can have a little bit more movement around there. It does swivel at the elbows, since it is on a ball joint, and allows it to bend at 90 degrees. And he does have full movement in his hands as well, and wrists. He does have waist articulation, which is really nice, and it does have a slight ab crunch, but there isn't a whole lot of movement you can get there. Unfortunately, due to this piece, even though it's made out of a softer material, his legs only have the movement just about that far. So it's understandable why it does get hindered kind of when you try to move the legs. This piece is removable, but I won't be showing it off camera since it's a real bother to pull this out, since it's a rather tight fit. Itself, as you can see, is pretty loose, but actually pulling it down from the legs and so on, since there isn't a way to unclip it or anything, it's a bit of an annoyance to remove, so just to mention that it is removable. He does have swivels on his legs, and he does have double joints in the knees, though it's a little hard to get into due to how tight the joints are. So the bottom joint does work a lot better, but the upper joint, for some reason, as you can see, it's very tight, and there's a whole lot of movement there just because of how tight the joint is. He does feature ankle articulation, and it does actually pivot from left and right as well. So it does have a lot of posability, which I'm very glad what Hasbro's done to design the figure. One annoyance I do have with this figure, unfortunately, is just the way that the backpack piece is designed. It does fit in pretty well, and it doesn't have any problems of it falling off. But as you can see, it's made in a bit of a slant. It's not really flat, and it doesn't really look like that when you place it on. But supposedly I heard from some other people reports that this is actually just a design choice, and it's a bit strange. I don't know why they did that. He does have a blaster, which has no way of storing on the sides of his legs or anything, which is a bit of an annoyance as well, but it is really well designed and has a lot of paint. And I really enjoyed the look of the blaster, and obviously the toy does feature a trigger hand, so you could just slide the piece here, which is a little easier to plug in when you slide in the finger first, because at least then it does actually slide into the piece, and then you slide it down, and then as you can see, the finger is inside the trigger, so it works pretty well. Just to show a comparison, here it is next to the First Order Snowtrooper. And it is rather short, but it does work nicely enough for its design. So I really enjoy the look of the Snowtrooper, and if you are a fan of Star Wars, or just a collector of the various different types of troopers released in the 6-inch Black Series, then I highly recommend picking this up. Luckily, unlike other Toysrus exclusives, this is actually retailing at the normal price of $19.99, so you don't have to worry too much about price hikes unless they change it later on, but for now, it is pretty good that it is the standard price without some kind of markup as usual. But anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Talk in the Gideon blog as soon as they reopen. Also, please check out my Twitter handle under Darkon633, which I haven't really posted anything in a while, but I do from time to time. Also, please check down the other channels down below, including the WRW podcast and various of my other friends' channels. But for now, I'll be back to bring more Star Wars reviews in the future, as normal, which you have seen in the last few weeks on my channel as already, so kind of on the roll here. But anyways, for now, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Bye.